Alright, so this is a follow-up video to the last little video I put out about this early 1960s Mercury dump truck that I've been working on. So I have got the springs installed. I have new bushings in the spring hangers. Got new bushings. Everything's all back on. I got new U-joints, or not U-joints, U-bolts made up. I had to make new top caps there for these springs. The old ones were mismatched and didn't really like them. So these are new, custom made. Got the both sides the same. The new under axle caps, whatever you want to call them, they're in place. Those are custom fabricated as well by me. So I have to connect up the brake line. The rear brake line here, as you can see, there's the splitter. And there is the original brake line to the back. The flex that goes from here to the steel is decayed enough that I ordered a new piece of flex for here, but it was very hard to find because that size is different than the other end where it has to connect onto the steel tube. And I find that older vehicles are extremely hard to get parts for. That when they came out, of course, they were quite common. Every Ford or Mercury dealer would have those in stock or readily available to order. But of course, now that 60 years has elapsed, there's now no availability on these specific unique Ford Quirk units. So anyways, but it is ordered and they haven't called me to say they can't get it, but it's been 3 days. I'm still waiting on for them to call me to say it's in, so we'll see. Here's hoping. And then I'll just splice in. I'll go back about 3 or 4 feet, cut the tube, put a fitting on, flare it, and then I'll go with, I got brand new copper nickel right here. I'll just go back to wherever the flex comes to, and then we'll just splice it in. I've got all the fittings here. I'll just flare that stuff out, attach it up as needed. So I got the subframe for the dump box back on. Got it welded up here. Both sides. I had to cut it to take it off because they welded it on the back. So I just, to remove the subframe to work on the frame rails, I just cut it. So it's been welded back up. It's been bolted back on. And I got the hoses reconnected back to the cylinder. I have to, I've got to fasten up these hoses. Of course, these hoses are just dragging here right now, but they got to get zip tied up nice and pretty looking. But, they need some flex because they have to, this is a scissor lift. So as this goes up, this end raises up, this raises up about almost 8 feet up in the air. This end here only goes up the length of itself, but this will stand almost straight up in the air. And so that's how a scissor lift works. And then there's a big long rod that goes through here, one side of it, and the frame rails of the dump box go here. And then same at the back. So I got this on yesterday, got everything plumbed back in. I'll go over the other side here. Got this battery box, not really battery tray, I guess you should say. Got this. They had originally welded, this is the battery tray that somebody had made up at some point in the past, and they had welded it to the frame here. They welded it to the frame, which is not what you're supposed to do. You don't weld things to the frame. So I cut it off and I ground off the welds and I made it all look pretty again, paint. And then, so this bracket that holds the pump and reservoir for the dump box, I clamped, you can see, I clamped, made up angle brackets, and I took the same basic battery tray and I made up angle iron brackets and clamped them to the bracket that holds the, as you can see in there, that's the reservoir and the pump for the hydraulics. So, and so I got the battery, and then just, you know, connect the cables up as needed here. The original battery tray is in here, right there, under that cover in the floor. You can see that there's a tiny little battery hole there. And that whoever had the truck before me moved the battery back here, probably to use a bigger battery, you know, like a more reliable. This truck came from the prairies, so they had winter time on the prairies, and you need a battery that's a real deal battery. So anyways, that's the status of the truck right now. Basically, I could start it up and drive it and just stop it with the parking brake, because I relined the parking. The parking brake is real good. It bites, stop you with a jolt. So anyways, that's the official update on the truck. Right now it's back on its own 4 feet. I could start it up and drive it out of here today, and I may actually do that later on. We'll see. I got lots of other things to do besides. The brake booster down under here, I don't know whether I mentioned it the last time. I disassembled, cleaned up, and reassembled that brake booster. Everything in it seemed to be in excellent condition. I see no reason why it won't work. All the springs, all the seals, all the cups, everything was in good shape. I just cleaned it all up, wire wheeled up where it needed to be wire wheeled, cleaned up all gasket sealing surfaces, put it all back together, and as far as I'm concerned, it's good to go. Connect all the hoses back up. Yeah, so that's basically it for now. So she's all back together. The new subframe is in. H-frame for the main frame rails is all installed, and far stronger than actually the factory, because it never had a double frame, so now it's double framed. And for a dump truck, it's quite important. When you're putting a lot of force, when you go to dump, all the force gets transferred right here. All right as far away as you can get from each axle, all the force gets transferred down. So now I have a double frame right to here. So that should assist, and I have no expectations based on the loads I'm going to carry on this truck that I'll ever have to worry about cracking this frame again. So its days of abuse are over, and so I hope to get many years of good service out of it. Once I get it into the garage, get it safetied officially, I'm back on the road. I'll see how it goes. Take care.